What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rantin Review Entertainment, and we are catching up with our we're restarting actually our watch-alongs to our rewatches of Death Note, the anime version. It's been a while. I did these over a year ago. I started them on the other channel when I was just doing the Rant Review channel, but now we are moving these over here to Rant Review Entertainment. We had a lot of people who were expressing interest in the show, and I had a poll out on what shows they wanted me to do reaction videos to or watch-alongs to. Death Note did win the poll, so we are going to continue and conclude our look at Death Note. Now, we got through the first 7 episodes. We'll be picking up today with which episode is this? 8, called Glare. Where we left off, Light had talked to Ray Pember's fiancé, widowess, I guess, and however you would describe somebody whose fiancé died, and in a very sneaky, snarky way, convinced her to give up her information, wrote her name in the death book, and she died while she was on her way to talk to Elle. So we're going to see now where this all picks up at, what Light is doing. Is Elle going to find out about this girl, Ray Pember's wife? What's going down? Is the chief ever going to find out that his son is a Kira himself? But before we get to that, I want to remind you guys that you can hit the notification bell and might as well hit the like button too and the subscribe button so you know when the new watch-alongs are for the series. But now let's get back into it. Death Note, Episode 8, here on the Rant and Review Entertainment.
Then at exactly 4:42 p.m. Oh, thank you very much, Watari. And at 4:42 p.m. he exits the train.
It's quite strange, don't you think?
I'm sorry, what do you find strange?
Yeah, what is it? Did you notice something?
We know that Ray Pember got on the train, and then an hour and a half later he got off and died on the platform. But the Yamanote line only takes an hour to complete its circuit. And more importantly, there's the envelope.
What do you mean?
He's holding what looks like an envelope when he passes through the ticket gate.
Huh? You're right. It's there under his arm. But in the footage right before his death, it's gone. I can't believe you actually caught that.
Well, it's Elle. He'll catches all that kind of
I don't see
stuff.
an envelope on this list of his personal effects.
Which means it was left on the train. And if you watch closely at the very end here, it seems like he's straining to look inside the train before the doors close. You can see right here.
If that's the case, do you think it could mean something?
Wouldn't it be interesting if Kira was on that train?
That's impossible.
I admit I find it hard to believe as well. There's no reason for Kira to come to the scene of his own crime when he can kill from a distance.
True.
Well, maybe he was counting on us to make that assumption and figured he could get away with such a bold move.
Elle eating this ice cream is hilarious. What to read?
What's going on with you, Light? You haven't stopped writing criminals' names in the Death Note for 4 days straight, so what are you trying to prove? I don't see the point in writing these names weeks in advance. I've never seen the Death Note used like this.
It appears she came to Japan with Pember. It's possible that she may have found a lead. That's the case. Did Kira manage to get to her first? Everyone, at this point I'd like to focus our investigation on only those people who Ray Pember was tailing. In particular, he was assigned to 2 police officers and those closest to him.
Very well, who are these 2 individuals he was investigating?
Deputy Director Kitamura, along with Detective Superintendent Yagami and their families, and surveillance cameras in both households.
It seems like you're pretty skilled with your hands. I bet you're pretty popular with the girls, aren't you?
It's your looks that count. I'm guessing you're not that popular, are you?
Huh?
Aki?
I don't see how you could even consider this. If this got out, we'd have a civil rights scandal on our hands. We'd all lose our jobs.
You told me you'd be willing to risk your lives for this investigation, but you wouldn't risk your jobs?
Good point.
Saki, what are the odds that Kira's in one of those households?
Maybe 10%. No, it's closer to 5%.
Seriously? I'm sorry, but it's not worth the risk.
No. Of all the people we've investigated so far, not one of them seemed even the least bit suspicious. Even if there's only a 1% chance, we simply can't afford to ignore it.
Chief?
I don't have to tell you how offended I am to learn my family is under suspicion. Having said that, just go ahead with it. And make sure you install them everywhere. I don't want any blind spots in the house, and that includes the bathroom.
Damn.
Thank you very much.
Watch you take a dump?
Come on, Chief. You don't have to agree to this.
Yes, he's right. Think about your family. You have a wife and daughter at home, don't you?
Yes, I'm well aware of that fact. But there is no point in doing any of this if we can't be thorough. Now I suggest you keep quiet.
Yeah, shut your mouth. The chief is not playing. He is not happy about this.
It's okay. Excuse me.
As a courtesy to the chief and his family, only he and I will conduct surveillance of their home. Watari, how long will it take to prepare the wiretaps and cameras we need?
Well, starting tomorrow, I can set them up at any time, provided we know when both houses will be empty.
That's pretty messed up for the chief. You know, he knows that he's got to do this because, you know, they got to find Kira. And unfortunately, it might be circumstance. He's still hoping it has nothing to do with him or his family. But the circumstances are he's a police chief. He can't play favorites to himself. Because if it was anybody else, if it was any of those other guys, he would have said that they need to do surveillance on the houses. So the rules got to apply to him. That's why I kind of like the father in the show. It's like he's fair. He's just. Even when it comes at his own family's expense. It's kind of messed up, though.
Safe. Listen to me. There's a very strong possibility that there are wiretaps and maybe surveillance cameras hidden throughout my house.
Really? But that piece of paper was still in your door, wasn't it?
That's true, but I left the paper in the door in a way that it would be obvious to anyone entering the room. The real test is the handle.
It is?
It's a
When
handle.
that door is closed, the door handle automatically returns to a horizontal position and it won't go any higher than that. But whenever I close the door, I adjust it slightly. Instead of letting it sit horizontally, I lower it by about 5 millimeters. When I get home and I try to open the door, if the handle is all the way up, I can be fairly certain that someone was in my room. But that method alone doesn't tell me if my door was actually opened. So I put a mechanical pencil lead in place as well.
So
That's what I
do you
remember.
do with it?
It goes on the hinge. After I close the door, I take the pencil lead and rest it on the hinge in such a way that it will break if the door happens to be opened by anyone. Normally, I'd take it out myself when I get back home. When I got home from school today, I noticed that the pencil lead was broken.
Now that you mention it, I do remember that.
First the door handle, then the lead. I know someone was in there today.
Yep, he's
Maybe it
on
was
to
your
him.
mother.
My family wouldn't have noticed the piece of paper. What's suspicious is that someone took the time to put it back in the door.
Hi there. Can I help you?
That is an assumption
What's
that
this
his
all
family
about?
wouldn't
Are
do
you
it.
buying a book about wiretaps and surveillance so you can figure this mess out?
By the way, Ryuk, what about your apples?
Apples? That's right, surveillance cameras. Once the apple's in my mouth, no one can see it. But while I'm holding it, it looks like it's floating.
I thought so. You told me that Shinigami can't die, so I guess it won't kill you to stop eating apples for a while.
Don't you think that's a bit much? Come on. I never told you this, but apples are to me what cigarettes and alcohol are to humans. Do you see what I'm saying? I even get withdrawal symptoms.
Oh yeah? What kind of symptoms?
My body gets all twisted. I do handstands. It's not pretty.
I don't need to see that.
I know.
Okay, here's the thing. Unfortunately, I already gave Elle the hint that Shinigami love apples, so I just can't afford to take the risk.
When did you...
If it's so important for you to eat apples, you'll have to find out where all the cameras are hidden. If you're lucky, you might find a blind spot where you can eat them without being seen. All right, let's go.
Yeah, a camera search. Sounds so interesting.
Okay, so if you notice there what Light did, he's so manipulative. He's manipulated the Shinigami. He's manipulated a demon, the death god, to go do his bidding for him, to go find all of the cameras in the house. So he, by using the apples that Ryuk is addicted to. Light is a manipulative son of a bitch, man. I'm telling you, man, this guy.
Even if this is the Kira case, I didn't think the Japanese police would ever go this far. This must be Elle's idea, which means they've narrowed down their list of suspects. By now, they
Boobies.
must have figured out that it was someone who Ray Pember was investigating, or they wouldn't have gone to all this trouble. Man, these covers mislead you all the time. No. Given the situation, it's safer if I just assume I'm their prime suspect and the only one being watched. It'll be okay. Luckily, I prepared for this kind of situation.
Naughty books.
Oh, Light.
Oh, for God's sake. His father. Oh, I guess it's different in Japan.
Dinner's ready.
Young boys look at far worse than that.
Always.
Hideki Ryuga, I swear he's perfect. How come no one in my class is like that?
Sayu.
Because you're like 12.
Your dinner.
I'll eat later.
Hello, Mr. Aizawa. Are the Kitamuras watching television now?
Yes. He's not home, but the other four are watching while they eat dinner. It's Channel 4.
Watari, please contact the broadcasters and tell them to play our message.
Very well. Understood.
That's right. My parents met George Martin.
What's this? ICPO? They're saying that in response to the Kira murders, Interpol has decided to dispatch a force of 1,500 investigators to Japan. The investigators were drawn from the law enforcement agencies of its member nations. 1,500 investigators? Whoa.
It's a lot.
Chances are they've got cameras in the living room as well.
Yep.
Regardless of whether this news is real or not, it's obvious they're just trying to evoke reaction from me. Hell, this is the exact same trick he used last time. The ICPO sure is stupid.
Huh?
I mean, there's no point in making this announcement. If they're gonna send all these people here to investigate, shouldn't they keep it a secret?
Even the FBI agents.
Look at Elle is watching him intently.
Why would this be any different? If you ask me, this is nothing more than a desperate attempt to shock Kira in the hopes that he'll reveal himself somehow. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kira sees right through this.
Wow. You're giving yourself away kind of there,
Sounds
like.
clever, isn't he?
Well, yes.
Thanks for dinner, Mom.
You're eating a bag of chips? You just had dinner. Your good looks are gonna go down the drain if you keep that.
Oh, is this the
Late snack for study.
This is the chip episode? This is the chip
I
episode.
think that's it, Light. I found every camera they put in the house. I guess Shinigami get tired when they work hard. Now let me explain where they all are. It's a little bit complicated, so listen up. There's nothing I hate more than explaining something twice.
All right, it's time for me to hit the books.
There sure are a lot of cameras in this room. I counted 64 in total. I
64?
guess whoever put them here expected you to at least find some of them.
It has to be L. He had no qualms about putting a death row inmate in his place when he declared war on me. It's pretty clear he doesn't know any limits.
What I want to know is how am I going to be able to eat apples?
Obviously, that's impossible now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I guess you can't talk in here. But we'd better discuss this outside tomorrow.
Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this now. Judging by the number of cameras he's planted, he's planning to make a decision within a short period of time.
Yeah.
Any normal person would slip under these circumstances, but it won't be that easy with me, Elle. This is the closest you get.
Oh my god, he's so crazy. Oh no. Oh no.
I've set things up so that criminals will continue to die over the next 3 weeks.
Makes sense.
Elle is aware by now that Kira can control the times of death of his victims. Therefore, to avoid suspicion, Elle needs to see that criminals whose names are being broadcast continue to die while I have no access to that information.
Oh, the symptoms are starting!
Oh no.
I'm gonna show you, Elle. With Ryuk's information and
Ryuk
my
is losing it.
preparations, I can continue to kill criminals whose names are broadcast on the news, while masquerading as a typical high school student studying for his entrance exams.
Camera's hitting in the
Just
bag of
watch me,
chips.
Elle. I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left.
Here it comes.
I'll take a potato chip.
And eat it. This show. Oh my god. That's the famous line. I'll take a
After dinner,
potato
your
chip.
son just goes back to studying without turning on the TV or his computer.
It's because the entrance exams are 5 days away.
He's on to you, L.
Now, a criminal who I should have no knowledge of will die of a heart attack in 40 seconds. And the witness to my alibi is L himself.
Pretty smart.
All right, just a little bit longer.
God, I remember studying like that. Gifted and
What are you
talented
looking?
classes were
Yes,
no
what is
joke
it?
back in the day, man.
A few minutes ago, a bank clerk being questioned on suspicion of embezzlement and a purse snatcher being held in a detention center were broadcast on the news. They both just died of sudden, inexplicable heart attacks.
It's him again.
While all that was happening at your home, your wife and daughter were watching television. When that was over, they turned the TV off and didn't watch anything afterwards. From just past 7:30 until now, 11 o'clock, your son's done nothing but study. Kira needs a name and a face. Without those, he can't kill. So I suppose anyone who didn't watch the news can't be Kira, right?
Right.
You said it yourself.
Possibly.
That means my family has been cleared.
It doesn't make sense that Kira would kill two petty criminals right after their identities were broadcast.
A little bit too
I know
obvious.
it's only the first day after the cameras were installed, but the Yagami household seems almost too innocent to me.
It's a little bit overkill.
Are you up yet?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Today's garbage day, so if you've got any, bring it down with you, okay?
What a pain.
What are you talking about? You usually say there's no need to remind me, Mom.
Yeah. Another beautiful day.
Well, I can't say for sure whether you're extremely generous or just a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
But didn't that mini LCD TV cost you $400?
Good morning.
And there it goes. The evidence is gone. Compacted in the trash. Well, we got a lot of movement in this episode. Light has well aware that the authorities are looking for him, that they have bugged his house. They are all up in his business. And L thinks he's ahead of the game, but actually in this episode, L is behind a little bit. And Light's kind of already concocted this whole thing, putting the bag of chips, putting the little camera in there so he could kill, knowing he was being watched, he could kill his Kira with the death note, but knowing that L is watching him while this is going on, can see that, Kira needs a name and a face, and there's possibly no way for Light to be able to know that. The computer was off, the TV was off, he was in his room studying, or so they thought. So that was, although if there's so many cameras in there, the camera angles probably should have been over his desk. That's one little problem with that, but we'll take for granted that they weren't. Another mistake here, I would say, is that Light probably should have waited a day or two, because like Elle said, it was a little bit, weird. Why did Kira just all of a sudden kill two random petty criminals like immediately after the names were mentioned? It's almost like Light is just messing with him. He's like, I know it's me, but I'm going to do something that proves it isn't me, but at the same time also kind of proves that I know that you're watching me. And again, this is the wonderful thing about Death Note, is this cat and mouse game between L and Light. The chief, I feel bad for Light's dad. Really upset that his family's got to be under surveillance. But again, like I said, if it was any of the other people on the task force, he would expect the same from them. So as the leader, he's got to do that. It's been a while since I've seen this show, but even with that, nobody who's ever seen this show will forget that this scene, this is the episode with the famous chip scene. I'll take a potato chip and eat it. And the big dramatic music as he's writing names in the Death Note. The show is there's nothing else like Death Note. I can definitely tell you that. But until next time, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and watch-alongs here on the Rantin Review Entertainment. Have a good day.